What if the one thing you are most proud of, your expertise, is secretly ruining your life? Yeah, it sounds a little crazy, I know, but we're about to unpack how the very foundation of your success might just be the biggest wall blocking your future. You know that feeling, right? It's 3 in the morning and you wake up with your heart just racing. You've poured decades into becoming the expert, the go-to person with all the answers. And then, all of a sudden, some new technology or some shift in the world threatens to make it all, well, obsolete. That little jolt of panic you feel, it's real, and you should probably listen to it. So here's the hard truth we're gonna get into. Your expertise isn't just your strength anymore. It's become a cage. The sheer weight of everything you know is the very thing that's suffocating your ability to adapt, to grow, to see what's next. To really get this, we need to look at an old Zen story. It's called The Parable of the Cup, and trust me, it's gonna make this entire problem crystal clear. Okay, so picture this. A super successful, super stressed out executive flies halfway around the world to see a Zen master. But here's the thing, he doesn't go there to listen, he goes there to talk. He immediately launches into his whole life story, his degrees, his biggest wins, his grand theories, basically just spilling all his knowledge out to prove that he's the smartest guy in the room. And the master, he listens patiently, doesn't say a single word. He just smiles, picks up a teapot, and starts to pour tea into the executive's cup. Just a simple, quiet action in the face of all that noise. He pours until the cup is full. And then, he doesn't stop. The hot tea starts overflowing, spilling everywhere, across the table, onto the floor, probably all over the executive's very expensive shoes. And the master just keeps pouring. The executive, totally shocked, jumps back and yells, "Stop! What are you doing? The cup is full, no more will go in." And right there, without even knowing it, he says the most important thing he could have possibly said. The master calmly sets the teapot down, looks at him and says, "Just like this cup, you are so full of your own opinions and expertise that nothing new can enter. You must first empty your cup." And that's it, isn't it? That's the whole thing. How can we possibly learn anything new if we think we're already full? This idea leads us straight to the solution. It's a really powerful concept from Zen philosophy that gives us a whole new way to operate in this, crazy, fast-changing world. It's called Shoshin, or beginner's mind. It's basically the practice of approaching everything with openness and curiosity, just like a beginner would. It means stripping away all those preconceptions and biases that come with being an expert. The great Zen teacher Shunryu Suzuki put it perfectly. He said, "In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's, there are few." Think about that. For a beginner, the world is just wide open. But for the expert, the path is often narrow, defined only by what they already know. This right here visualizes it perfectly. The expert's mind, it's like a rigid oak tree, strong, impressive, but so heavy with what it knows. So when the hurricane of change comes through, it's the first thing to snap. But the beginner's mind, that's like bamboo. It's light, it's flexible, and it's mostly empty inside. It just bends with the wind, lets the storm pass right through it, and survives. So the big question is, how do we actually do this? How do we go from being that rigid oak to being the flexible bamboo? Well, it's about consciously shifting from the role of expert back to the role of student. So how do you actually start? Well, first, you've got to drop the heavy armor of needing to be right all the time. Just let it go. Second, stop defending what you used to know. Instead, get fiercely curious about what's happening right now. And maybe the most important step of all, start seeing your mistakes not as failures, but just as data. They're just little breadcrumbs on the path to learning something new. And let's be really clear about something. Emptying your cup doesn't mean becoming a know-nothing. It is not about throwing away 20 years of hard-won experience. It's simply about creating space, allowing all that wisdom to become more fluid so it can adapt to the new shape of the world you're facing today. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one single question. It's not about what you know, it's about what's ready to grow. So I'll just leave you with this. If you were to truly, honestly empty your cup right now, stripping away your title, your past achievements, all the pressure of being the expert, what new, beautiful thing would finally have the space to grow?
Subscribe for daily wisdom.